What's going on? I'm the automation chef, and today I wanted to show you a Zap that we use every month here. And it is a task that we used to have to go in, we have to manually create these group of tasks that we would utilize every month for our Facebook ad customers. So we have a few things that we do every month for them as far as optimization, as far as notification, reports that we send them, and this happens every month. So if you have a repetitive task that happens every month and you want to automate it, I'll show you how I've done that using Zapier and Monday. Now the thing about the automation for this one is that it's variable, right? So I'm not just making these repetitive tasks for one project, it's for multiple active projects. So I've created a little sample board here for these Facebook ad onboarding. Let's look at it. So in Zapier, every month I'm running this task, right? So that's my initial trigger. We'll look at the 27th at 9 a.m. every month, run this task. And what I do is set some default values in this Zap to look at a specific Monday board. I also define every task that's going to be created in this Zap. It would be due in 7 days. And then as well as where to find that variable information, what customers are we going to be working with. So I've got all these board IDs available to me. And then I also go into storage and get all my API credentials. Now, this is a bit of a complex Zap, so I am interacting directly with the API. And one way I like to do that to make it easy to scale and use the API in multiple places is to use Storage by Zapier. And in Storage by Zapier, I have this one Zap that stores the API endpoint, the API key, any authorization credentials that need to go around that. I store it in Zapier. So if I ever change my API key, all I have to do is change it in one place and all my Zaps will start working again. So I love storage for Zapier being used in that way. And then that'll allow me to connect directly with the API. So you can see I'm using a webhook to reach out to Monday's API. This is coming from storage, right? So if API for Monday ever changes from V2 to V3, I can easily just change that in one place. Then I run a query string. This is just formatting a query based off of Monday's API. So I just read the documentation and extracted what that looks like. You can test this in Postman, which is a cool app, very easily. So you can run it directly in Postman until you get your commands correct. So I'm pulling in the board ID from the second step where I was storing those default values for this command set and pass in the authorization. Now this is going to return to me the active subscriptions, right? So if we look at this board, we've got 2 active subscriptions here that we want to pull from. It's going to pull both of those and then format that 7-day. Let's show all fields. Let me just show you this one. So what I wanted was for us to look at next month and format that in that month, year time frame. And if we look at that test and retest it, so next month, today being August 30th, should be September 2022. All right. And then so all the data that we've captured here, we're passing through. We're going to look at the different subscriptions that we need to loop through. So it's going to pull in both of these and then run this loop based off those values. Now I have some boards that have a dozen of these on there. So it scales really nicely as we onboard new customers. So as it goes through, it's just passing in the subscription ID. And the first thing we want to do is pull who is responsible for this task. So on my onboarding form, I put a manager on there. So this person's going to be assigned this task every time, or these set of tasks when we create them each month. It's their responsibility to fulfill these monthly obligations. So we're going to get that person, and it just returns who they are. and then we're going to extract their ID. Now this is a regex pattern. This is more advanced, so it comes in as this gobbledygook here, and then you can see it's kind of like this linked pull with some brackets around it. I really need just a specific ID out of there, and so I wrote a pattern that extracts a number or a series of numbers right after an ID key. So you can see it pulls in all that and extracts that number right there. So then I run a subzap, and this subzap creates a Facebook task. And one of the reasons we formatted that string earlier, that helps us differentiate each month's task. So we can see, now it's September 2022 instead of August 2022 tasks. And we can pass in these different sites. So in my subzap, I asked for these variables to be passed in to be able to run. And then we're going to run it one more time to create a second set of tasks, right? So I can run this as many times as I want. All I do is continue calling subzap after subzap. That is my create an item in Monday board. Which Monday board are we creating it in? What's the task name going to be? Who's it assigned to? And then we can link it back to a specific board. Now this is relevant if we look at the monthly tasks here. You can see these are the ones that were done August and July for my automated ones. And we have this person icon, and we have this Facebook ads onboarding icon. So this onboarding column here is linked back to the subscription. So you can see we've got new customers that we're dealing with there. The ones that have been done for a while are linked back right there. And so if we pass in the ID, it'll create that connection automatically. If we pass in the ID of the person, it'll assign it to them. And then when do we want it done? Each of these tasks I want done a week from when it is created. So plus 7 days, and Zapier is able to process that and go ahead and create a date period for that, and it would automatically make it due at plus 7 days from when it was created. So that's a bit of an overview of how I create tasks using APIs. Happen every month. I also have used subzaps in here. That's a quick tour of that. If you have any questions about how to implement this, I am a Zapier expert. I'd be happy to help you do this with Monday or your own task management software, possibly integrating into your CRM as well. This is one of the things that can be automated. And if this is something you're interested in, feel free to reach out, automation-chef.com, and you can fill out the form at the bottom, and I'd be happy to chat with you.